You know, Romans 7:15, I mean, Paul talks about it. He gets it. He says, you know, I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate to do. In other words, I want to do what's right, but I really don't want to do that. So I don't want to do what's right, so I do what I don't want to do that's not right, and then I hate myself for doing it. Have you ever been there? You know exactly what you want to do. You know exactly what's right to do, but you really don't. Your desire to do the other thing is so big. We're all there. That is the struggle. That's the war that happens within us. And the reality is we don't get what we want. Even then. You know, verse 2 says this. He says, you desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. And when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. The funniest thing about those verses is he never says, you desire what you do not have, so you kill and you get it. Or he says, you covet what you cannot get, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight, and then you get it. You're not going to get what you want. The reality is what brings me, what I'm looking to get most of the time in my life is something that brings satisfaction to me. It's, you know, I may look at Rick and I say, Rick is such a successful guy. Man, if I could just get the truck like Rick and the house like Rick and all that stuff, and I get a great marriage like him and Roseanne have. If I could just do that, I'll be great. And also I'll run out and try to find the thing that works for me. And God may have those things in the cards for me, but those are not the exact things. The things that God has put in the life for Rick and Roseanne are not the exact same things He's put in life for me. And because He's made me completely different. And as I'm different, God looks into my heart and He says, look, I've made a specific plan for you to bring you satisfaction and to help you understand who I am and to help you help the world as who you are. And so if you follow this, I will make it's kind of the specific plan made just for me. And so if I tried to take Rick's plan that God made for Rick and put it on me, it would create a lot of frustration because it's not made for me, it's made for Rick. You know, and that's the reality because that's what we do. We covet. You covet what somebody else wants because you look how you think it would make you feel, and when you get it, it doesn't make you feel the way you thought you would because it's not what God had for you, because only what God wants for you is going to satisfy what's inside of you, because only God knows your heart. And only God knows why He made you the way you do. He made you to like corn chips and to not like raisins. And there's a reason. He made you specifically like that. And there's something that God has got in store with your unique composition that He's the only one that understands what's going to make things right for you. And we just run around like a needle in a haystack. I just want to get that. Oh, if I could just be famous. Oh, if I could just get enough money. Oh, if I got the right job. And you get over there and you find out it sucks. It doesn't work. And the reality is there's so many choices in our world. If we don't do what God says, how are we ever going to find out? You know, and every choice leads to another choice. What James is saying, you can ask all you want. You try to quarrel and you fight and you kill and we make a bigger mess. And the reality is our response to the conflict a lot of times is more dangerous than the conflict itself. Because our spirits are warring inside of us trying to get something. And what we're doing is we're trying to find this thing for God, and we can't, and we make a mess, and we get upset, and we get frustrated, and we take it out on other people, and they take it out on us. And we do all these things. And before we've known it, we've made this big mess. And then it messes with our prayers. Hey, Adam, could you go right back to that verse just a second? I'm doing an audible on you, bro. Go back to the verse right there. It says, when you ask, you do not receive. Why? Because you ask with wrong motives. Sin gets inside, you start praying about it, and you're like, oh, Lord, can I please have this? If you could just get me this, I'll be fine. And that's not, God's saying, He said it there going, you don't even understand what I'm trying to do with you right now. And you want this, you pray, you don't get it because you're praying with wrong motives. You're not trying to figure out what God has for you. You think you know what God should give you, and you pray and you ask Him to give it to you because you want to do it to make yourself right. You want to spend what you get on your own pleasures. And you don't get what's right that way. Isn't that weird? I want this, so I'm going to go get this. And when you get this, you don't want that because you don't know what you want because your judgment is messed up by the sin nature inside of you. Do you see what I'm saying?